$2,200 monthly and bonus checks for Social Security. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of a new report that was released discussing $2,200 bonus checks for Social Security. And this is something we need to pay attention to because this is likely going to play a role in any major changes to Social Security, which we all completely understand are coming probably sooner than later. And we all know checks need to be raised significantly. And again, what I want to talk about here in the video and what they're discussing as far as $2,200 bonus checks on a monthly basis for millions of Social Security beneficiaries. Let's get into it and talk about all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks for joining me. If you have not done so yet, make sure to do yourself a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It is totally free to do so. And I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all the details hitting the wire, all the headlines, and any information coming out that may impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything popping up you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low-income or fixed-income beneficiary, including but not limited to money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention immediately as I'm watching things every day, all day, every single day, and bringing it to you in these short videos. So again, thanks for joining me. I want to be here for you and continue advocating on your behalf in any way that I possibly can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet so you don't miss any videos going forward. And let's get into it and talk about this new report that was released talking about $2,200 bonus checks for Social Security. Sign me up. That sounds pretty nice. I wouldn't mind a $2,200 monthly bonus check. I think all of us would probably agree with that. That'd be pretty nice and a little bit life-changing right now, especially with everything going on. I think we would all be very happy with that. That would be nice, and it would certainly be better than a little $200 raise or even a one-off check, things like that, right? Well, let me discuss what is going on here. And again, I want to make some points about this because this is likely going to play a major role into any changes or reform to Social Security at some point. As we all know, like I said, it is coming. These things are going to be coming, but yet lawmakers don't know what those changes are going to be yet, which is why they continue coming out with all these ideas, proposals, packages, new bills, things like this to reform the program and, make changes to it. All right, so here's what's going on. There's a couple different categories here. Now, this is actually very interesting. The studies continue to come out and show basically any Social Security beneficiary who is receiving a benefit roughly over that $2,200 monthly benefit amount is technically looking at this benefit as usually a bonus check. Meanwhile, here's what's interesting about it. Statistically, and according to these reports here, they continue to find with all these surveys that they send out and what they find from beneficiaries, those individuals generally receiving a benefit around that $2,200 or sub $2,000 per month range typically looks at their check or their Social Security benefit as a safety net check. Now, let me explain the details on why this is such a big deal. Okay, here's what they continue to find. As they continue to dig into these beneficiaries and continue to find out more about them, they continue to find that generally those people that have a benefit over that $2,200 per month range typically have other sources of income. Now, it could be a variety of different things. It could be a pension. It could be annuities, it could be portfolio income, it could be dividends, it could be rental income, the list goes on. But generally, these people have other sources of income above and beyond their Social Security check and typically don't rely on their benefit for the vast majority of their monthly income. Therefore, they typically look at their Social Security benefit as more of a bonus check rather than a necessity or safety net check. Does that kind of make sense? Right? So it's kind of interesting to see how this plays out. Just the simple psychology behind this of, hey, if I get a benefit of over this amount, generally their income is coming from other sources and their Social Security benefit is usually just the icing on the cake and the cherry on top, right? Sounds pretty good, by the way, right? So anyway, that is what they're talking about with this. Now, here's what they also found. Generally, those people, and again, I'm kind of using some round numbers here, and that's kind of what they're finding as well. Now, this is not a perfect solution or a one-size-fits-all approach, but generally, these are kind of the guidelines that they're finding from these studies and the reports they continue to find with all this, right? So here's what they found as well. Generally, those people with a benefit below around the $2,000 to $2,200 range per month generally rely on their benefit as either the primary source of their income or or their one and only source of income. So generally below kind of that $2,000 per month range, they typically rely on their benefit for either all or the vast majority of their monthly income, and typically don't have many other sources of income like those individuals that have a higher benefit typically do. Therefore, those people that have a benefit generally below that about $2,000 per month range rely on their benefit for the vast majority of their monthly income, and if it was not for the Social Security check, probably would not be in a very good financial situation. Do you kind of see how all this is working, right? So anyway, long story short, we've seen a ton of proposals popping up over the last, call it year and a half or so. There's been a lot of proposals out there. Now, one of the proposals, I've actually talked about it before in another video that I do want to bring to your attention right here as well. I want to insert that information, which is they have talked about freezing any potential benefit increases to these higher income beneficiaries because they continue to find, but wait, why are we giving COLA raises and extra benefits to higher income people when they're relying on their benefit for not even their full income, their monthly income, right? But rather, instead of actually implementing these annual COLA raises and higher benefits and stuff like this, they found that, wait, if we could just stop giving raises to higher income people, again, about $2,200 a month or more, if they stop giving COLA raises and stop raising benefits for these individuals, and rather either kept that money in the trust fund or shuffled that money over to lower income beneficiaries, that it would do a lot of different things, right? Number one, it would stop raising benefits of higher income people that don't necessarily rely on Social Security benefits for their monthly income and necessarily need the money. They want the money, but probably don't need the money. There's a huge difference between need and want, right? I think we can all probably agree with that. But they continue to find that if they took that money and shuffled it back to the lowest income beneficiaries, then hey, we'd be in a much better situation where the lowest income beneficiaries would be seeing a higher overall percentage boost to their monthly benefit, and the higher income people, well, do they really care about an extra $30 or $50 or $90 a month in their check because of the COLA? Realistically, probably not. I mean, do they want it? Yeah, 100% they want it, but do they really care at the end of the day? Probably not that much. Is it really going to impact them as beneficiaries? Again, the studies continue to show probably not that much. Therefore, they feel like, hey, this would be an easy solution to essentially kind of cap benefits out for higher income people, as in stop raising them, and then shuffle that money over to the lower income beneficiary, ultimately raising their benefits more on a percentage basis. Because let's just say, for example, like right now, okay, the COLA is 3.2%. Well, let's just say they gave the COLA to everybody, which they did. The COLA went to over 71 million Social Security beneficiaries and people who receive benefits administered by Social Security, okay? So it went to everybody. But let's just say, for easy math purposes, let's just say that half the people receive a benefit under $2,200 a month and half of the people receive a benefit over $2,200 a month. So that calculates out to about 35 million people on both sides, right? 35 million above $2,200 a month and 35 million below $2,200 a month, okay? Now let's just say that they cut out the 3.2% COLA for everybody over that range of the $2,200 a month. And they said instead gave that extra 3.2% to the people receiving a benefit under $2,200 a month. Now the people receiving benefits over $2,200 a month get zero as a COLA, and all the people receiving a benefit under $2,200 a month now are getting a 6.4% COLA. Do you see the differences here, right? So at the end of the day, does it really cost Social Security more money in the form of benefits going out through the trust fund and through Social Security payroll taxes to the beneficiaries? At the end of the day, no, it does not. It does not cost them any more money, but rather what they're doing is they're shuffling money from one group of beneficiaries, higher income people, to lower income people, ultimately lifting their benefit. Now, this actually has a couple-fold effect here. Number one, it raises benefits for lower-income people who need that money to live on because they rely on the vast majority of their benefit for most of their monthly income or all of their monthly income, okay? So that's number one. Number two, it would lift people out of poverty because we know that generally people receiving benefits under the federal poverty line don't have other source of income, therefore probably living in poverty, okay? So this would lift a lot of people out of poverty as well. It would not cost Social Security even a penny more to do such a thing like this. Again, not a bad approach, right? So there's multifold effect here of what this would actually do for the beneficiaries, ultimately changing the livelihoods and helping the people that actually need that extra money in a major way. And again, it's not a ton, but doubling up on the COLA, I mean, don't get me wrong. Would you rather have a 3.2% COLA right now, or would you rather have a 6.4%, 3.2 doubled, right? Well, everybody probably wants a 6.4%. Now, obviously, it's not going to translate into a lot on a year-over-year basis, but like you've heard me talk about before, over long periods of time and compounding, it actually adds up quite a bit, right? Not only that, one more thing as well. Think of this. Higher income people who generally receive that benefit over $2,200 a month and also have sources of income, guess what? They also pay taxes on their Social Security benefit in general. Not everybody, but in general, they also pay taxes on their Social Security benefit. Lower income beneficiaries generally don't pay taxes on their benefit because if it's their sole source of income and their income is not up to the thresholds where they're taxable, then guess what? They're not paying taxes on that income. Therefore, it helps out the beneficiaries. It helps out the higher income people who are not paying tax on those benefit or nearly as much because of the COLA not being added to their benefit. And it also helps beneficiaries who are lower income boost their benefits up and also maybe stay under the thresholds where you would need to pay taxes on those benefits. Do you see all this? I don't know, kind of a logical approach here. So I want to bring this to your attention here because they continue to talk about it as bonus checks and safety net checks. That is how these articles and how these reports are actually established, is talking about it as a bonus check, like, wow, I got a bonus this month, right? Or, hey, I need this check because it's a safety net check, right? So it's very extreme here from one end to the other, saying it's either a bonus, like, wow, I got this massive bonus this month because I got a bunch of money I didn't need, right? For higher income people, or I got a safety net. If it wasn't for Social Security, well, the net wouldn't have been there, right? So anyway, this is how the reports are structured here. And again, I want to bring this to your attention, but in my honest opinion, it actually seems a little bit logical. And again, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you know that I like to approach everything from a logical approach, like, hey, does this really make sense? Regardless of my opinion, who cares about my opinion? But at the end of the day, does it make logical sense? In my honest opinion, this actually makes logical sense to me, right? I don't know. It's just an easy way to boost benefits for lower income people, maybe stop raising benefits for higher income people that maybe don't need it that much, right? Don't get me wrong. I know that higher income people also struggle from time to time as well, but if they're not relying on Social Security as their sole source of income, guess what? They have other sources of income to lean back on. Like I mentioned before, it could be a variety of different things, right? Whereas the low-income people, they have no other source of income. Therefore, if something were to happen to Social Security or if these benefits did not provide, then guess what? Now they have nothing else to lean back on. You get what I'm saying here? So anyway, the bonus check and safety net approaches and what they're talking about here. So want to bring this to your attention. And again, I would not be shocked one bit to see this play a role in any type of Social Security reform or changes to the program. In fact, I would anticipate it. So I want to bring this to your attention really quickly. As always, go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel or those that I have linked down below in the description. Some great content there as well. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel. Totally free to do so you don't miss any videos going forward. Share the video with your friends, family, social media. Hit the like button down below. Enjoy your day. That's about it. Have a nice one and take care. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you again later.